What's up, Motorsports Maniacs, and welcome back to another video. If you haven't seen the news already, you probably would be amazed to know Ferrari just gave Kimi Raikkonen his 2018 race-winning car. It isn't the first time Ferrari has given away one of their cars to one of their drivers. But teams do not always do it, and even if you're a race winner for the team, you may not always get the car. Kimi Raikkonen is a special case. We all know that he hasn't run a Grand Prix since 2007 with Ferrari. So when he came back and won in 2018, it was a big accomplishment. Anyways, some of you might be wondering, what's the big deal here? And shouldn't all F1 racers have cars like these? But in this video, we cover why Formula One teams and companies are so resistant in offering their cars, and if they do, under what conditions. But most importantly, we will be discussing how you can get your hands on an F1 car. Just imagine how amazing it would be to walk into your garage and see your own piece of history sitting right next to your BMW. I mean, I know I would love to see an F1 car sitting there, and I definitely want to own one, so I know you do too. So let's get into it and find out how you can earn one of these beautiful machines for yourself. Before we start, please subscribe to Motorsports Mania and click the bell icon to get regular updates on more amazing videos. To start off, let me cut straight to the facts here. No team would be willing to sell the retired cars from the previous season as they contain far too many valuable properties. Let me clarify. Many of these cars have technologies in them that they carry on to the next season. For example, just recently, after all this break from coronavirus, Lewis Hamilton drove his 2018 car in a test, as did Valtteri Bottas. So right there they show that these cars are close enough to compare to the 2020 cars that they want to get them into a car just to get warmed back up to the feeling of racing again. However, in the rare occasion of a team actually considering a transaction, the car is at least 5 years old. So give up for now on buying a car you saw on last season's race because it's going to be a long wait. Other than valuable features in the car, the machine becomes an important part of the company's heritage program. Some would repaint their car for a new season and use them as a showcase car. Others would make their way to sponsors as part of the contract with the team. But in very few cases, a driver would be gifted the racing car, such as Kimi Raikkonen and Michael Schumacher many times. Of course, they only gift these cars on occasions where a driver has done something miraculous for the team, such as winning a world championship 7 times in Michael Schumacher's case. Everybody knows that Michael Schumacher also got a Ferrari Enzo FXX, but that's besides the point. So unless you're a winning F1 racer, your chances are slim. But there's still hope. So even being qualified to drive the car and being an F1 racer and a winning F1 racer, but if you didn't win a world championship, you still might not get the car. I think that's crazy, but it's the team's rules. So how do people manage to buy the car so many only dream of? I mean, who wouldn't want one of the fastest, rarest, and most technologically advanced cars on the planet? The answer is simple. You need a lot of cash. We are talking big numbers here. 75% of the F1 cars sold are through private transactions, so it would be nice if you got some contacts in the industry. Prices are not usually disclosed to protect investment values as well. And other options fall into place when putting a price on the model, such as company name or buying the car with or without the engine, seeing that it is the most expensive part in the car. So here are the big numbers. Prices range from £100,000 for a fully functioning F1 car from the 90s, and they can get all the way up to £1.5 million. Now that isn't the case for Ferrari. The prices of a 1990s Ferrari car are going to skyrocket, but there you have the brand. You could buy a Formula One show car without the engine for just £20,000, but of course, you can't drive it then. An average F1 car engine costs $10.5 million, which further depends on features and the name of the racing company. Prices depend on how much the companies are willing to spend on their cars as well. Ferrari and Mercedes both spend over $400 million a year, while Haas and Williams spent around $150 million in 2018. To sum it up, the total basic cost of an F1 racing car is said to be around $15.52 million. That's just chump change. Some people manage to buy these cars to admire the beautiful machine. Other wealthy individuals buy them and use them on the racetrack. Some would purchase them as an investment opportunity, while some even buy them as a show car for events and business premises. So you thought we already discussed the tough part. The process gets more and more complicated up ahead. Let's take a look. So suppose you got the money to buy an F1 car. You got $100 million. You want to buy an F1 car. Let's do it. F1 teams have various means of disposing of their cars. Some F1 teams fail, such as Mania Racing. They take their cars and assets and they sell them at auction. F1 cars are found in major auction galleries where prices skyrocket. Lewis Hamilton's 2013 Mercedes is one of the few modern-age cars up for auction. Michael Schumacher's 2001 Ferrari was sold at a bid of $7,504,000. Talk about big numbers. You could also make a discreet inquiry into a current F1 team to see if they have any cars available, as they do not prefer disclosing their sales. But there are public sales as well. You could look into websites such as Motorsports Market, Memento Exclusives, or sometimes, if you're lucky, even eBay to find an already privately owned car up for grabs. But the problems do not stop there. The complications keep adding up. Suppose you do somehow manage to own your new toy. You would still need someone with the knowledge to keep your car up in running condition. These machines are very complicated. Even companies have whole teams for maintenance with the right knowledge about the car. Parts and maintenance requirements have a high cost to themselves alone, and experts are required to deal with them. So unless you have mechanical experts with technical documentations, supply sources, and mad driving skills, not to mention again a hell of a lot of cash, you're going to be finding trouble in keeping the Formula One car running and preventing it from turning into a piece of scrap metal. Luckily, some services such as KTR Racing in the US offer assistance that would solve many of these problems. Services in the UK are much easier to find and at a cheaper rate. Sometimes when someone buys a certified used F1 car, the company offers support, services, and driver training directly into the package. A popular example is the Corsa Cliente program by Ferrari, where wealthy people would buy contemporary race cars from the team. The company would give them support from the factory and even train them to drive their dream car, which Ferrari would use their own trucks to bring the car to the track. To top it all off, Ferrari even brings a whole pit crew to assist you when driving the car that knows every inch of your specific car. So let's say you're driving the F2001 Ferrari. Ferrari is going to pick that car up for you. They're going to bring it to the racetrack, and you're going to have your own team of individuals that knows every part of the F2001. And when you drive, they're going to be with you the whole way, talking to you on radio just like they would if you were racing in a real Formula One race. I think that's amazing. They would even give you opportunities to run your car on tracks like Spa and Monza. Of course, some of the most famous tracks of all of the F1 calendar, along with other members from your elite club of race car fanatics. So you could be racing your F2001 right next to somebody else racing an F2002. Talk about a race. But even with all this, Ferrari wouldn't let you keep their car at your own place unless you're an ex-Formula One driver like Kimi Raikkonen. Ferrari will store your car at their headquarters in Maranello. But there are other manufacturers that would let you keep your car, such as Williams, who have a separate division dedicated to support its historic Grand Prix cars and those that are owned privately by people, known as the Williams Heritage. Another classic team by the name of Lotus is another manufacturing company that would let you keep your car at your own house. The company deals with Lotus Grand Prix cars and Indy cars that were produced from 1957 to 1990s and helps you out in maintaining them. We are almost done with whatever problems you might be facing in buying your dream car, but there are some other important things left. Now consider that you have covered all of what we have mentioned so far. It's time to buy your own car. You would need to have a few things in mind while choosing which one you would buy. One of the most important factors is assessing the car's pedigree, which really sets its value. Successful cars usually cost way more than unsuccessful cars. Some cars are more in demand due to their livery, the team they represent, or their exquisite chassis design. Other than this, the usual protocols follow when buying a used car, such as the car having original supporting documents, condition of the engine and the gearbox, and the availability of spare parts along with maintenance fee to keep the car running. We advise getting an independent specialist engineer to assess the car from end to end properly to analyze if the purchase is wise, especially if you are planning to race the car. You have to keep a constant look out for public sales of these cars as well. Cars ranging from the 1998 Benetton B198 with a Jude 4-liter V10 engine for £275,000 to Footwork Aero's 1994 car with a 3.5-liter Cosworth engine for £141,000 come in the public market and disappear before you know it. There is no need to feel down if the paramount of complications in owning an F1 car are overwhelming and the prices are just too high. You could always settle to own a piece of the F1 car for your own living room. Companies like Memento Exclusives specialize in re-engineering F1 components and working directly with the F1 teams to sell components of their race-used cars and transform them into clocks, tables, lamps, and a lot of other things. So you can have a memento of your favorite racing car right at your home. That is it from us. We hope you now know what goes behind buying an F1 car in case you are planning to buy one soon. Give us a like if you found our video informative. Tell us in the comments section what is your dream F1 car and why would you wish to buy it if ever given the opportunity. And if any one of you watching this video owns an F1 car, hit me up. I would love to go see it. Thank you for watching our video. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to stay updated for more awesome things about the motorsports world.